Morning guys, hope you're well. Just very quickly before I go off to the office to have a little look, see what's going on, I thought I'd just break cable for you. I am watching this particular pair today as well, actually. I'll show you for why. Because of that. It hasn't retraced yet and it's not making new highs. So I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if there's anything in it. If not, I'm not really worried. But cable, I was asked last night if I would look at cable for you guys. Now I marked it out. Just take it out to a daily rather. Fan that out so that you can see it. Take the RSI off. There you go. So you can kind of clearly see my levels. Now what this is telling me on a daily is the general trend is up, but it's coming up to highs, okay, which is here, but there's a decent room to get up there. Okay, I'll just drop on a bolly, and what you can see, it's holding above the 20 moving average, but that is curling over ever so slightly. Now that's a warning sign of a shift in sentiment. Alright, so you've got to be a little bit careful of that. But when you're dealing in a day trading situation, this is just really the horizon. It's not telling you what's going to happen in the here and now, because it's that little bit too long. It's just giving you an overall trend, a bias if you like. And the bias is up, but keep an eye on this. Alright, zoom it into 4 hour just to get a little bit better picture of what's going on, and you can see that is now defining a little bit more, and it's on the underside of the 20, which telling you the shift is the opposite direction. And the reason why it's the opposite direction is it's had a strong drive up. You can see that here. There's nothing to say it's looking back anywhere, but it went straight to a level, which is a strong level, and it's now showing signs of rejection. Now, this is a daily pivot, a weekly pivot, and a monthly. The price will move to these like a magnet. And you can see it's having a think here. What is going on? So we'll drop it into an hour and we'll have a little look. But what you're seeing is there's that drive up. Lovely. It hasn't retraced. It hasn't even had any signs of retracement. That is showing you there's a lot of buyers in there. Okay, 7 o'clock this morning, everybody's pushing this up, but then suddenly, wallop, it stopped. Why is it stopped? What's the sentiment change? Well, let's have a look. Put something as simple as an RSI on, you can see it's curling over and pushing down. So could this be a fake out? Is it people just taking profit from the last few hours? Who knows, right? But what you do know is that's a strong level, so there's a high probability it can retrace. All right, so if it's going to retrace, just widen this out a bit so I can show you. It's going to look to the midpoint, and the midpoint is here. Okay, so I'll just build this up. So your midpoint is there. So that is your go zone, this one. Now your next area of interest is based off, I'll just move this out the way, off the current leg, which is this, and that's quite a defined move. You can see it quite clearly. So again, let's have a look to see where we might be able to enter into this. Well, It's at the 23, but you've got a little bit of a roadblock here, which it's showing signs. So your next area is actually this. All right. So you have an overall target of roughly here, this section, just there. Let's see if we can find a new entry point. Which is that there. Just colour these in just so you can see it. Get rid of that. Right, you've now got some entries and some blocking points. So that can trace into here. If it breaks through that, it's going to find its way to the bottom, this pivot. If it breaks through that pivot, it's going to try and get to this one. If you think it's going back up, you can buy it here into there, take some profit off, and then back up to this area here, and you'll get some decent movement just between those two green areas. Okay, and as you can see, it's coming into that zone right now as we speak, and that's it. You build up a chart, but you're ready to go either way. This seems to be a logical place, but if it's going to move down, and we'll have a look at something else for you to chew on, is an extension just from there to there. Pull that back up to there, and oh look, the 127.2 isn't far away from that pivot. So again, it's giving you an area of interest, and then finally put on the actual pivots, and it's holding above the real pivot, and that is pretty much on the zone that I drew in. So if that holds there, that R1 again is next to the zone that I just built up. So that is something to consider, you know, but that's how I break a chart up, and that's what I'd be looking at today. It's how I will make a trading decision. Okay, so at the moment I'm waiting for it to get into here. If it gets into there, I'll then make a decision as to whether to buy or sell it. Basically, if it stays underneath there, I'm going to sell it down into this. If it stays above the green, I'm going to buy it up into that red zone and hold it out to here. Simple stuff, guys. Hope that kind of makes sense, but that's kind of what I look at. But what you got to remember is today is Friday. It's wildcard day. You know, anything could happen, and it often does. All right, so there we go. Anyway, I'll catch you all a bit later.